What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. UFC 305 just went down. Adesanya versus Dricus for the middleweight title. And what a fight we got this past Saturday. And let's just start off with, my predictions are very good for this card. Went 4-1. The Kai Kara pick was definitely the best pick. Gamrot, I knew Hooker was being underrated in that fight, but I didn't think he was actually going to win that fight. So props off to Dan Hooker. We'll be having a top 5 takeaways video coming out soon about this entire card. But today, let's focus on the main event of Plessis versus Adesanya. What an absolute banger of a fight. Plessis gets it done. Submission. Rear naked choke in the 4th round. Unbelievable performance by Dricus. And this is a fight where both fighters, I think, looked really good. Even though Plessis kind of always looks garbage in his fights, it's not garbage if it's working, and it looks goofy. I thought he was going to be countered a lot in this fight. I was really worried he was going to get not taken down, but knocked out. It didn't happen, and my pick ended up being correct. And it looked like when the judges' scorecards came out, it looked like even if Dricus didn't get the KO, he was going to win on the scorecard. So my exact prediction almost kind of worked. But let's get in the fight. Round 1. Very, very close round for round 1. I think Izzy, first of all, looked really good in this fight. And Izzy was landing good shots on Dricus, hit him with a nice knee. Wasn't stumbling Dricus or anything, but he was landing. Great body shot at the end. And then Dricus, though, throughout the whole round, finds a way with his blitz style, his sloppy style, to hit Adesanya's chin. He's leg kicking him. Really close round. I thought at the beginning, Izzy was going to look like he was going to take it, but I thought Dricus was able to really just, win that round near the end. And overall, I think, throughout the whole round, especially after the first minute, I think Dricus was just landing more shots. So I gave round 1 to Dricus, but if I rewatch it again for the 4th time, I might give it to Izzy, but overall that round could go either way. But I got to go Dricus for number 1. But that round could go either way. So I had Dricus on 1-0 after that round. We go to round 2. Dricus starts to use his grappling. And definitely, since Jan Blachowicz, the biggest grappling threat Izzy's ever faced. Even though I think Dricus' grappling is a little overrated, it's still very effective, and he has the jiu-jitsu advantage as well. Uses grappling, kind of manhandling Izzy a bit. He's such a high IQ fighter. He's always slipping in ground and pound shots whenever he can. And then he tries to choke out Izzy twice when he's on Izzy's back. One of those positions was very, very close, but Izzy's able to get out of it. And right when they get up, it's weird. Dricus looked like he was almost gassing out, even though, I knew he wasn't. He looked like it, but he also was kind of fighting a little bit like it. When they got up after the second failed submission attempt from Dricus, Izzy just started hunting him down, landing some good shots, and a nice right hand to the side of his head. But it's weird because, Dricus looked so exhausted for, that 30-second stretch, and then just wasn't exhausted. It's so weird how he fights. It's amazing. The guy is such an interesting fighter. And so Dricus able to win round 2, clearest round for Dricus in the entire fight, besides the fight where he got the finish, obviously. But you go to round 3. I thought this was Adesanya's best round. And, I've seen people say round 1's maybe his best round. I thought round 3 was. This was, easy round for Adesanya. And he was looking really good, where every time Dricus would blitz in, I was always worried that Adesanya was going to counter him. From the beginning of round 1 all the way here, I was really worried. It never really happened. And even though, I believe it was round 2 where it looked like Adesanya kind of dropped him, I don't think it was a full drop. I think Dricus was shooting kind of for a sloppy takedown anyways, but it definitely hit him. But Dricus was unfazed by it, so it wasn't really a drop, but it kind of did look like one. So I don't think Izzy really ever hurt him. I think where Izzy started doing most of his damage was to the body. In round 3, he's continuing to go to the body because Dricus is showing up so much, to defend his head, at which I get why he's doing it, but it leaves his body exposed. And I thought Adesanya was fighting really smartly, taking advantage of that. And I thought Adesanya clearly won this round, but kind of midway through the round, around 2:30, 3 minutes, I believe, Dricus hits him with some really good shots and gets him back in the round. He doesn't win it, but the fact that with how funky his style is, that he's able to just get back in the round like that, even though he loses it, but make the round a lot more competitive and land on Adesanya's chin, is just super impressive. So round 3 goes Adesanya. Round 4. Adesanya continues to look very good. It's looking like, at least on my scorecards, he's about to tie it up 2-2. But Dricus du Plessis finds a way to get it done. I believe so. He starts rushing Adesanya. He clips him over the left, I believe. And Adesanya kind of shrugs it off, doesn't, kind of acts like it doesn't really affect him a lot, but it was a clean shot right to the side of his skull, like clean shot. So Izzy kind of acts like, nothing happened. And then Dricus is able to land on him again, drops him. And then they kind of separate. And Adesanya points to the ground like he's Max Blessed Holloway. And Dricus is just like, okay, runs forward, finishes Adesanya 15 seconds after Israel Adesanya pointed to the ground. One of the funniest things I've ever seen in a UFC history. Not only is he crying at the press conference, but he's now getting memed on like that. Points to the ground, and then Dricus just rushes forward, beats the shit out of him, clips him up, and then what he does, he uses his hand to grab Adesanya's waist, and then just nails him with 3 big right hands. One of those were just vicious too. Like, I think the first one in particular, or maybe the second, was just vicious. And then since he has his left hand around Adesanya's waist, he's able to transition to the takedown. Adesanya panics. He's hurt. He panics. Immediately wants to get up and trying to get up. A lot of people expose their back. Dricus du Plessis submits Adesanya. And at first I was like, Dricus, ground and pound, ground and pound. And that was kind of my impression live. I was like, trying to TKO him. But I think overall he did the right thing by going, obviously he did the right thing by going straight for jiu-jitsu. Like, he's Charles Oliveira, going straight to the jiu-jitsu once his opponent's hurt. Gets an easy choke, taps Adesanya. What an unbelievable performance for Dricus du Plessis. Amazing. And, the good thing about this fight is that it showed that Adesanya is not washed. He's not washed at all. He looked fantastic in this fight. But Dricus du Plessis too much. He imposes will on these people. And it was too much for Adesanya to handle, and he paid for it. So, unbelievable performance by Dricus du Plessis. Izzy looked great, but there's just Dricus on a different level right now. I've said this for a while. I think he kind of smokes Khamzat Chimaev. It goes past the first round, he's smoking Khamzat. I think he KOs Whitaker again. I think he probably finds a way to finish Strickland if they fight again. And this is not recency bias. I've been high on Dricus for a very long time. I didn't pick him to beat Whitaker. No one was. But once he beat Whitaker, I was like, he's going to march Strickland down and beat him. That's exactly what happened. I thought he'd find a way to beat Adesanya by decision. I just thought Adesanya was too hard to finish. That's why I couldn't see Dricus doing it. But he defied my expectations. I had high expectations for Dricus going into this fight. So, just amazing performance. And I love Dricus in his post-fight press conference. He's willing to fight anyone, anytime. And he's the type of champion that we want. And, seeing, what we have going on in the division above him with light heavyweight, Pereira fighting the number 8 guy in Khalil Roundtree, it's good to have Dricus being, willing to fight Strickland, willing to fight Khamzat, willing to fight Whitaker again. So he's a perfect champion to have because his fight style is amazing to watch. Even though it's kind of ugly and goofy, it's extremely entertaining though. He's elite in literally every category, even though the eye test doesn't say it. He just is though. He's one of the funniest fighters I've ever seen in my life. And on top of that, he's the best trash talker in the sport. I think I said this in my first ever video on the channel over a month ago. Dricus du Plessis is the best trash talker in the entire UFC. He makes Strickland cry for a month. He made Izzy cry at the press conference, and he beats all these guys. He's just on a different level. So this was a fantastic win by Dricus. I can't wait. I really hope he doesn't fight Strickland next. He needs to fight the winner of Khamzat Whitaker. A lot of people are like, oh, Dana said Strickland's next. Listen. Dana White, I believe in his post-fight interview on, Dana White Contender Series, he kind of rolled that statement back because he made on a podcast, I believe, and he rolled it back a bit. Not saying that Strickland's not gaining at all, but he kind of was like, I think it was more like, we got a lot of options, kind of like rolled it back a little bit because Strickland could get it. He has a chance. I wouldn't rule that out. The UFC would do anything. Look at Khalil Roundtree getting a title shot. But I think the right choice and the obvious choice is the winner of Whitaker Khamzat. And there's no way Khamzat beats Whitaker and doesn't get a title shot. The UFC wants him in a title fight. Him versus DDP is a huge fight. So it's good that we have a champion like DDP who will fight anyone, anywhere. And I would love to see him versus Alex Pereira at 185 too. That would be pretty fun. And, just make sure that Magomed, it should be Magomed Pereira right now, but I'd rather Pereira sit out the year, or not, maybe not sit out the year, but fight DDP this year, and then fight the winner of Magomed and Goliath, which Magomed and Rakic, which I think will be Magomed. So if you're gonna make the rightful number 1 contender in light heavyweight fight again, let's at least do something fun. If you're gonna do that, book Pereira, DDP, put in Utah for all I care, 307, 185 title. That would be a banger of a fight. I think do DDP, and by the way, none of this is recency bias. He will take down Alex Pereira, use his physicality, and maul him and submit him in the first round, I believe. And I could see him KOing Alex Pereira too, by the way, because Alex Pereira is obviously a better striker, but his chin, I think, is a lot weaker, 185. I think there's going to be a lot of excuses for him if he loses. So I think DDP finds a way to knock him out too, honestly. I just can't doubt this guy, but I don't think he needs to knock him out. I think he takes him down, submits him. But enough of that. That would be a banger fight. I hope it happens. Get rid of Pereira, Khalil Roundtree. Pereira, DDP. If you're going to do another fight with Pereira, that's a fight that people would want to see. Then he can fight Ankalaev if he beats Rakic. That's what should happen. In my perfect world, I just have Pereira be fighting Magomed Ankalaev right now. But that's not the case. I can't change that. But this is something that I think could actually happen with Pereira DDP. I kind of doubt it a bit, but it actually could happen. So that would be awesome. But it's good to have a champion like DDP who's willing to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. He's an amazing trash talker. This is the biggest win of his career he got over Adesanya. And, you know, I had Adesanya look great. And DDP was he's able to overcome a great looking Adesanya, which makes this one even more impressive for him. So guys, let me know what your thoughts on the main event. Who should Adesanya fight next? Who should DDP fight next? And a little bit on Adesanya. I want to see him versus Strickland again. I think that'd be super compelling. But I think that fight would be amazing. But let me know who you think Adesanya should fight, who DDP should fight next, what you think about just overall the middleweight division in general. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next one.